Welcome everyone to the Goblins live show featuring myself and the wifey. And in today's show, we've got a very interesting topic for you where we're going to discuss biker stereotypes. Are you ready, wifey?
I'm ready.
The funny thing is that the intro that we've got is actually the same from last week. I haven't changed it. So we're going to have lots of fireworks again. Sod it. Let's roll it anyway. Why not? Yay, more fireworks. Can I get away with that?
For this week, yeah.
For this week,
so.
is that alright? So, wifey, how have we been?
I think we've been okay.
Yeah, have we been up to anything interesting this week?
We went to see Batman, the Batman. What was your Batman impression again? That you did in the cinema?
The Batman.
Yeah, you did that like really out of the blue and we're sitting there.
Well, I just saw it come up on the screen. It said the Batman. I just had to do it. The Batman.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, we went to see that, didn't we?
Yeah, it was alright. You liked it more than I did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I thought
it was long.
I thought
it was so long.
I thought it was long. I thought there was a lot of things in there they didn't have to put in, but
it was 2 hours 56.
I mean, it was alright.
It
was okay.
I think if I'd seen it during the day and I had nothing else left to do, and I hadn't been working all day, it would have been fine. But I'd been working, so yeah.
I wasn't that much of a fan of the bad guy either, of the Riddler.
Don't give it away. People on here might not have seen it.
Well, I mean, it's been out long enough now. I'm pretty sure people are all going to know who the bad guy is in that. But I wasn't particularly impressed by him either.
Jim Carrey wasn't either.
Well, yeah. Maybe he's just a flawed villain. Maybe he's just a villain that works well in the comics, and that's it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Evening, Mark. Good to see you in the chat there, mate. Evening, Greg. How you doing? Hope you guys doing okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Is that it? Is that all that we've done this week? Are we being really, really boring this week?
We've been really adulty, haven't we? And we've been very good. I don't think we've done anything else.
Well, I've spent a lot of time doing work for the channel this week.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we did the ZZR oil change video, which came out on Friday last week. But since then, we've had issues with the tail light, and I discovered there was a puncture in the rear tyre as well. So I did 2 videos on that, which all recorded over the weekend. I think that was... Oh, yeah, the Ninja 125 oil change video, that will be coming out tomorrow, I think.
That was fun,
I think that's the one that's scheduled for tomorrow. So I was juggling all these different videos together this week. So I've been quite busy, but yeah, not anything that exciting, unfortunately. But
no, not really.
But, well, to be fair, I'm looking forward for the videos to come out, though, because I think they're really good.
Yeah,
and,
the oil change one was particularly
fun. But
it's
it's an opportunity for me to kind of experiment a bit more with editing and things like that, because my face is on the camera the whole time. And, if any of you have watched the... there's a YouTube channel called Rebuild Rescue, and I started following them about, I don't know, it must be 3 or 4 months ago now, I think. And I love the style that they had, the editing style that they had. So I've kind of taken inspiration from those videos and popped them into the oil change videos, the maintenance videos, things like that. Which will be, there'll be a lot of them coming out in the next few weeks. So I think it's 4 in total: ZZR oil change, the Ninja 125 oil change, the tire puncture repair, and the tail light fixing, which is which had problems of its own as well, the tail light, unfortunately. But Mark
wants to know if you were hungover on Friday after your party on Thursday.
No, of course not. I'm fine.
Had dinner after, didn't we? So you were like,
but I mean, oh come on, it was 3 shots. I had 3 shots and a couple of beers. That was it. It wasn't like Oh,
Not even left the room yet.
Don't show them that.
Your secret stash.
We still got the party poppers in here as well from last week. No, I was fine. It was all right. Yeah, I think the tequila definitely hit me the hardest last week for sure. But yeah, it was fun. Why not? But yeah. So, wifey.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this show today? Because, I mean, I approached you with this idea of talking about biker stereotypes, but I haven't really had the time today to actually investigate biker stereotypes. So you're going to be taking the lead probably a lot tonight.
Yes.
So I think she's got some good ideas.
Yeah. So what I've done is I found some outdated stereotypes, which I think we should go through and talk about. And the first three I think we're going to cover are going to be quite interesting. And then I've also got some myths. Let there be light. I've got some myths as well. And if we have time, I also found some personality traits.
Personality traits?
Yeah, of a motorcyclist.
So we'll see how many of these stereotypes actually apply to us lot.
Yeah.
This show's going to involve you guys a lot as well. So, if the wife here says something that is very familiar to you, a part of your personality or what have you, then
let us know.
Yeah, chuck it in the chat. Yeah, we're curious to know.
Okay.
Just before we get started, wifey, Greg's asked about what made you want to start a YouTube channel. That's an interesting question, and the best answer I've got for you is my ZZR 1400. That was such an inspirational bike that I just had to share it with the world. And ever since then, it's kind of just snowballed into,
Yes.
just this, I don't know, what would you call it?
Phenomenon.
It's not quite there yet. But I mean, it's become kind of like more influential in my life.
I think it started as a passion project, didn't it? And
yeah, like a hobby.
Yeah, and it's just kind of become something more from there.
It's significantly more serious now for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've been loving doing it. So yeah, I'm trying to think, because I do have a video about why I started moto vlogging, which I did. God, it must have been about 6 months ago now. And believe it or not, that's when we broke 200 subscribers.
200.
Just 200 subscribers. And I made that video because I was like, oh my God, I've got more subscribers and I've got friends on Facebook. Basically that kind of attitude. And
now look.
And well, yeah, no, it's what? Times what now? What? I don't do maths. What times? Not times 10 yet.
9 times that amount, nearly.
Yeah, not times 10 yet.
No,
so
nearly there.
Nearly there. But yeah, it's basically that was it. That was the reason why. It was just I bought a motorcycle that I was over the moon with, and yeah, I just wanted to share it with everyone. I mean, one thing to say actually, we have got a video in the works about the ZZR, one that I've put quite a lot of effort into. It's probably going to be out next week.
Okay.
I think I've recorded the script. I've done the intro for it.
That was fun.
The intro is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be completely different to what we've ever done.
That was the most intense intro we've ever had to record,
yeah,
though.
it is pretty tough.
It was, yeah.
And I don't want to give anything away.
No, but you're in for a treat. You really are.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, and it did take us a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort to get that one done. A lot of patience
as well, actually. The key was patience with that one.
Yeah, I think we spent more time working on the intro than I think the rest of the video. So hopefully you guys like it, but
we probably have some good outtakes for our next blooper.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, just.
So that video is coming out soon, and yeah, in there I kind of describe a little bit how that bike kind of inspired me, I suppose. But anyway, right, let's crack on with how do you want to do this? What do you think?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the stereotypes that I've got here. So we'll start with some of the really funny ones, and actually the ones that I think relate to me and you the most.
That's like all of them then.
No, not all of them. And then I'm going to go on to the other ones, and then we can kind of discuss them. And obviously, if anyone in the chat wants to throw any out or knows anyone that particularly fits these, then yeah, let us know. Okay, so
we'll see which ones your dad fits into.
Yeah. So
as well.
The first one is all bikers have long, unkept beards. I don't have a beard.
I have a beard most of the time, but it's not because I'm a biker.
No, and it's not particularly unkept, is it really either?
No. Well, I don't really. I don't like look after my beard or anything like that.
No.
But I've actually got a bit of a skin condition where my skin naturally is quite tanned, but around my eyes, around my mouth, and just other parts of my body, on my arms, I've got like white spots.
It's like the pigment's going.
Really pale spots. Yeah, the pigment of the skin is leaving. Is going. There's a name for it, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so I have a beard most of the time to basically hide these white spots, but it also makes my eyelashes white which is really weird.
When we went to America, we were on a water ride, weren't we? And they wouldn't let us go because they were so interested in your eyelashes.
Yeah. They thought I dyed them or something or bleached them, and I hadn't. They're just white. And I've got white patches in my beard and my mustache now from where it's affecting the pigment in my hair as well.
So you have a beard, but it's not because of you're a motorcyclist.
No,
okay.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Moving on.
Okay, yeah. What's the next one?
All motorcyclists have tattoos.
I don't.
I do.
I don't have tattoos.
I thought you were going to I don't have any. But
I just start stripping off.
Yeah, but I don't have them because I ride. I didn't even ride at the time.
No.
I've had these for 9-10 years. You know, I don't. So I don't know if that is a thing. I mean, but I think you do see a lot of riders with tattoos, but I don't know if they're synonymous with each other. Yeah,
I mean, I think in like the media and stuff like that, you get a lot of influences from stereotypes, and all the stereotypes have tattoos.
Wild Hogs.
Well, Wild Hogs is one movie,
because there's that guy, the nerdy guy. He's like, I've got a tattoo, and it's the Apple logo, and he's like, I'm a biker because I've got a tattoo. I don't think that helps. It's
in my skin, bitch.
Yeah, so
it's really funny.
But you know, the Del Fuegos, they fit a lot of these stereotypes that we're going to talk through today.
Yeah.
And a lot of these have been pulled out from movies.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Things. Okay, so Mark has lots of white patches in his beard, but it's H, and full sleeve and many other tattoos. Cool. Okay. Amazing. Right.
Oh, there you go. We found the first stereotype.
Yeah.
Well, you and Mark.
Yeah.
First two stereotypes.
All motorcyclists listen to rock and heavy metal, which we do.
I'm guilty. Yep.
My dad listens to.
I've got my Iron Maiden t-shirt on. The wife here's got a Metallica t-shirt on. Every other video that we do, we're wearing a band t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm normally wearing a band t-shirt.
I reserve these for gigs more often than not, don't I?
Yeah.
I dress like a lady. Otherwise. Do you know what though? I had a conversation with someone at work the other day who thought the way I dressed meant I listened to Oasis. And when I turned around and said I listened to Slipknot, Butcher Babies, like bands like that, he was just like, oh. He didn't know what to say to me at that point. And he was like, you don't look like you listen to metal. And I was like, okay, thanks.
It's great having a wife that listens to the same music as you do. Honestly, that's so cool.
So yeah,
like, I just remember being on, if we ever went on holiday and stuff when I was a kid, because my dad liked kind of the classic rock, like classic metal, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, bands like that, Nazareth. But my mum would absolutely hate it, and my dad would put on some Sabbath or something. I'd be there, like headbanging to Paranoid or something, and my mum would be like, "No, turn that off." So
See-
I'm so happy that that's not going to be the case for me. At least I hope not. Anyway.
No, so whereas my mum, like, she would be fine if I put on System of a Down or Blackstone Cherry or anything like that. Like, it wouldn't bother her. So yeah, the stereotype is that all bikers listen to heavy metal.
I don't think that's true though. Anyway,
No.
I mean that might apply to us, but I don't think that is a stereotype in any way,
No.
shape, or form.
My dad listens to Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, things like that. But again, it's not because he's a rider. He's a rider. He just enjoys that music.
Yeah, exactly.
And happens to ride.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what a lot of these are going to come to, because riders come from all walks of life.
Exactly.
So you can't paint one biker the same way as another, just because they'll share similar kind of personalities or certain
Because
interests.
7 in 10 will do one thing. Doesn't mean they all do
exactly. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's funny though, because the stereotypes are what people think the bikers are like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just really it's entertaining to think about what what other people think of us.
Yeah, they actually get a bit worse as we go through,
Oh,
like the
dear.
stereotypes. But I'm really interested actually what our viewers listen to, like what your genre is. So
Yeah.
do let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you're
'cause the
into
thing
like
is-
Beatles or what have you.
I love the Beatles, but also we listen to things like Pendulum, don't we? Like we're quite
Yeah,
versatile and
quite-
diverse with our music.
I quite like a lot of drum and bass as well. Yeah.
So
I mean, and well, it's one thing we haven't been able to do for a while, but the wife and I like to go to gigs as well quite a lot.
download stuff like that. Yeah.
No, well, download, yeah, because you get to see loads of bands, but no, we will go out of our way to go and see a specific band. I mean, there was one evening where it was actually around my birthday, where it was Conor McGregor was fighting Floyd Mayweather,
Yeah.
and we had planned to go to a beer cellar.
Yes.
Because that's where they were showing the fight there, and a lot of our friends were going to go and stuff like that. But before we would go there, because that was on like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning when that fight started.
Something like
it was
that,
it was in
yeah.
Las Vegas, so the time difference is huge. But we went to go and see Pendulum in London, which is about 200 miles away from where we are.
Maybe.
About 200 miles away, so a 200-mile trip there, 200-mile trip back, to catch the McGregor fight as well that same evening. But I mean, I'd happily do it again.
Oh yeah.
I was absolutely
massively.
knackered by the end of it. And
Do you
what
know
time did
what?
we end up going home? Was it 7 o'clock in the morning?
We managed to get the first bus of the morning back, and it was a Sunday morning, so this was about 6:30 in the morning. This first bus happened to run, and I
Yeah.
remember we went and got some kebabs because we hadn't eaten very much all day and we were starving. And then we got back, and this is when we lived in our old place, and we were sitting watching TV or something, trying to eat. And I remember waking up, and I looked down, and I was just covered in kebab, but I'd fallen asleep with it in my hand. And I looked over, and I think you were like half off the sofa,
Oh,
because we had
probably.
like two sofas in like an L shape.
Yeah, we were probably sleeping throughout the entire day afterwards.
Yeah, and I just remember having kebab and lettuce, and I was more gutted I'd wasted the kebab than waking up covered in it.
But I really, really, when we want to go see a band, we will make the effort to go and see a
Yeah,
band.
that's it. Like we went and saw Kill Switch one week, and then we were at While She Sleeps the next week or something, weren't we?
Yeah, and Crossfaith as well. We've seen Crossfaith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many bands. We could go on for
Load
ages
of
about
bands,
music.
probably bands that a lot of you wouldn't have never heard of. But anyway, right.
Right, moving on.
Next one then. So we've spoken about music. Okay.
Yeah,
What's
motorcycle riders are uneducated rednecks.
Yeah, we're all dummies. I fit into that category.
I think everyone can be a bit of an idiot in some senses, can't they? But we're not uneducated.
Redneck dummies. So we're basically like neo-Nazis.
Apparently. Yeah. That's one of the stereotypes.
We're all skinheads.
So the next one is, if your daughter brings home a biker, it's all over.
Yep, that's happened with you. Yep.
Whatever that means.
It did help though, because your dad was a biker anyway, so
Yeah.
at least it wasn't a shell shock moment for them.
If anything, they were very supportive, weren't they? Like, my dad got my
Yeah.
first helmet and my boots and my jacket, so
Mm.
as long as I was, like, had the gear, he's just down here asleep, it's fine. Okay, so moving... Sorry, do you want to say that?
No, I was just going to ask our viewers what was it like for your other half's mum and dad when they found out that you're a biker?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Let us know your kind of experiences with girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever, and how their parents reacted. That'll be quite funny, I think.
We were fortunate, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, I can't remember if we've spoken about this before, but my mum was very, very much against me riding. Obviously, I think most mums are, aren't they? Because they're like that. But she's such a hypocrite because one of her past boyfriends rode a motorcycle. So, like, and she was quite happy to go onto the back of that bike as well with him.
It's different when it's your kid, though, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. It's still hypocritical. I don't know. If you ask me, but there you go.
Yeah. Oh, the story there, that 125 guy. The story there.
I blame the missus, yeah.
But she won't see this, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool, okay. Oh, yes, 125 guy can possibly answer that question then. So the question of if your daughter brings home a biker, it's all over. What did your partner's parents think when they found out you ride?
Yeah.
Dropped in at the right time at that point.
Let us know. I'm sure there'll be some juicy stories there from you lot. Oh, well, actually, we might as well kind of mention it now. At some point we want to actually start introducing a section. Well, I don't think I've actually mentioned this to you, but this is something that I've actually thought about recently. Is having a section in the show where we actually speak about your stories. So if you send us an email with your biker experiences, your biker stories, anything crazy that's happened to you guys in the past, send it to us in an email, and we'll actually try to incorporate it into the live shows as well. That's something I'd like to do.
Yeah, sounds great.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, you were saying. Sorry.
Was I?
I thought you were.
I don't know. 3-second memory today.
Yeah, me too.
Right. So the next one is all young riders prefer sport bikes.
All young riders prefer sport bikes. That is absolutely not true.
No.
You will get some older chaps that are sport bike guys till the day they die.
Do you get younger riders who don't like sport bikes as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. You'll get younger lads that are more into cruisers. So that's the kind of dream that they'll have. They want to be a cruiser boy. It's not, cruisers aren't just for older gentlemen, but I mean, again, that's a stereotype. But yeah.
You always can't help but fall into stereotypes when you talk about things like this.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, so that one, we'll debunk that one then.
Greg, they said, "Oh, you're another donor then." yeah, another organ donor. Oh dear. Mark, a lot. Is it a lot? Sorry.
A lot of people, yeah.
A lot of people see bikers as young guys with a death wish. When I got into bikes, I was surprised a lot of the riders were a lot older than myself at the time. These guys were on ZX9Rs, ZX6s, Gixxers, Blackbirds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I don't think that stereotype works. That a specific generation of people are into one set of bikes more than another. So
debunked. That's our debunk sign, right?
I don't know.
Oh, get with the program.
125 guy. Her mum was dead against it and begging me not to get a bike because they are dangerous. I am almost 35 and my current bike is my first sport. Yeah. You're
still young at 35. You're still a young rider.
Absolutely.
I think everyone's always a young rider until they stop riding and then they're an old rider.
Well, I mean, that was a video idea that we had recently, was whether or not riding a motorcycle keeps you young.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be an interesting topic as well.
That's an interesting talking point for sure.
When that comes out.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
So let's move on to some of the really obscure ones. Bikers are violent.
Yeah.
So there's an example here. So how many movies have you seen with a grizzly, leather-clad biker guy and his group of buddies hanging out in the bar just waiting for someone to come along and piss them off? You know the ones. They're shooting pool or harassing a waitress or nursing what you can tell isn't their first drink or second or third. The hero walks in on his way to save the world or find his lady love or solve the mystery. Something goes down and the biker flies off the handle and challenges him in a menacing low voice made gravelly by far too many cigarettes and too much whiskey. His friends chalk their pool cues in a way that communicates the mayhem to come. I love that. I can just imagine films of that in.
Yeah, that does paint the picture, doesn't it?
They're saying it is reinforced by the fact that some bikers are big and muscular, leather-clad and menacing. But if you ride, you know that not all bikers are violent.
Again, though, it all goes back to this original stereotype of bikers being rebellious and being, you know, a bit more antisocial and all that stuff. But again, that's simply not true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are going to be a load of people out there that are violent and that are nasty that just so happen to be bikers as well, but that doesn't reflect the whole community whatsoever. The vast majority of bikers I've met have been really nice guys, haven't got a bad bone in their body.
No, but you hear these stories and okay, they've got big beards and they're bald and they wear leather like waistcoats and they're covered in tattoos, but they actually wait outside courthouses and line it for the kids who are being abused by parents so that the kids don't have to see their abuser. So they line it and they keep that child safe. And there's little things like that. And I've read things on social media where you hear these bikers, you know, that their mum pulls the kid away because it's a biker and he's really scary, and the guy's like, actually, I'm probably the nicest guy you're going to find on the street. I look menacing, but I'm not.
So my grandmother is very ill. She had a stroke, quite a big one, about nearly 20 years ago now. And my mum ever since then basically looks after her. And she was telling me about this one time recently where she parked up in a disabled bay. And I can't remember if it was trying to get my grandma into the car or trying to get her out the car. I can't remember. But a biker pulled up next to them and asked them, do you want some help?
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's a big burly guy with tattoos, beard and stuff. Took his helmet off. He looked like the stereotypical biker, but he was, asking to help this random person that he's never met before, whether or not, you know, they need his help. And it's just so sweet.
But when you worked in town, didn't your bike battery go dead or something and someone's in the rain and someone was helping you?
Yes, but that wasn't a biker.
No.
Well,
not that you're aware of.
No, they weren't. They were a young lad. But yeah. So one of these days, this was about 5 years ago now. Yeah. Battery died on when I was trying to get back home. I tried starting the bike up and it wouldn't turn over. But then I asked this strapping young lad who was a rugby player because he was wearing his rugby outfit, and I asked him to give me a push to do a bump start, and he was more than happy to help. Just push me up and down the road a couple of times, and
clearly
got
you
it started.
Look terrifying or unapproachable or violent.
No, of course not.
So
no,
yeah.
but he was more than happy to help. You know, a nice young lad, probably on his way home from school or from rugby training. And just being a good Samaritan. I mean, I just went out and asked him, and he was more than happy to give me a hand.
Wow. Kind of leans into the next stereotype that we're all gang members.
Yeah.
And the belief behind this stereotype is that there's a lot of like biker groups around. So like people that ride together and maybe go out on a Saturday, go to like Ace Cafe like my parents used to, and what have you, and go for meats and have burgers and whatever outside. And a lot of it's come from there, I think. That just because you're in a group and you're riding together, people associate you in a gang. Yeah,
and I get the impression that people get intimidated. You know, when you see a massive column of bikers.
Like a convoy, basically.
Yeah, there's been like a biker meet somewhere in the local area, and all the bikers are riding around town or something, or riding through the town. I get the impression that drivers just on the road, you know, witnessing what's going on, I bet you they get intimidated by having all these people. Because you see these videos in America as well, where you get like one person that does something stupid, or they haven't got a number plate or something like that, so the cops start chasing after them and stuff. And everyone else that's with them just starts terrorizing either other people around or terrorizing the cops or something like that. There's no need for it. I mean, I don't know if that's just culture in America. I don't know, but that's not what it's like over here.
No, it's not. I've never experienced that.
But yeah, I've seen a few videos of relatively large groups of bikers where they're just there to try and
Cause havoc.
Yeah, cause some trouble. But yeah, I mean, incidents like that just kind of like put a downer on everyone, don't they? It ruins the image of the entire community.
Please excuse me 1 second.
The Wog. Hey, Woggy. You like bikers, don't you, Wog?
Do you know what? Actually, could you have him?
Come here, bud.
I am hosting. It's really funny with the pug. Yeah, you. So when you got your ZZR, he became very attuned to when he could see, like, hear you coming down the road.
Yeah.
When you got your H2, it took him a little longer to get attuned to it, but now he goes and sits by the door.
Well, so the dog
and
next
waits for
door,
you.
though, the dog next door is absolutely terrified of the bikes.
Yeah.
I saw it one time being walked in, and I wasn't moving. I was actually parking up, getting ready to put the bike back in the garage, and it saw me, and like it did like that deer in headlamps kind of thing, like
that might,
just froze and then ran away.
Yeah. That might be because of their quad bike, though. Maybe not a good experience around that, but that's neither here nor there.
Maybe.
So, moving on from us being gang members, apparently we don't wash and we're all dirty as well.
Yeah, we're all cavemen.
Yeah.
Cavemen and women.
So, it says here, nervous Nellies and abrasive Karens yank their children away from dirty bikers. Since the start of the pandemic, everyone we know has been extra considerate and about safeguarding the health and blah, blah, blah. We might get a little fragrant on long road trips, but that's just a small part of it. So, yeah, apparently we don't wash, and we're just dirty, and if we were a cartoon, we'd have those little squiggles around us.
Because you've got a website there that the wife here is reading the stereotypes from. I'll put it in the video description after the show, so you guys can check it out for yourselves if you want to. But yeah, this is funny.
This is fun,
funny.
isn't it?
We're all really dirty. We're all really dirty, smelly
gang members. Don't
know how to use deodorant.
Never heard of a shower.
Very, very right wing.
Yeah.
Extreme right wing.
Beer stains.
Beer stains.
Yeah. Food in our beards.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
I love it.
So moving on to from the way we smell to the way we look. Apparently, we only wear gear to look cool and tough.
Well, that's.
Apparently, so it says riders don't wear leathers, riding boots, riding jeans, armoured clothing, or any other gear to look cool. They wear it because it's the very first time you throw your leg over. Because the very first time you throw your leg over, you come face to face with how hard the pavement is and how thin your skin is. So
don't get me wrong. Bikers wear their gear because it's for their own safety, but at the same time, you do get people that will wear fashionable stuff when they're riding.
Bikers wear gear so they can stay safe while doing what they love. It does sometimes make them look tough, fearsome, and almost indestructible. If you tell one of us we look like a Dark Avenger, we probably won't be offended. Punisher comparisons are also welcome.
Yeah, I like that.
It's definitely a rider in full motorcycle gear looks more prepared than the idiot who jumps on a bike in shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so might look intimidating, but at least it does the job.
If I could get on a bike and look like Black Widow in her white suit, I'd be protected and I'd look amazing. So who's going to care about that? Or like Catwoman or something. So, but yeah, apparently we just want to look intimidating.
Yeah.
And scary.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was so complex. I really didn't.
What do you mean?
Like, I didn't know that I didn't shower. That's new. I didn't know I was part of a gang. Wow. All these things I've been missing out on. Okay.
Yeah, we're part of the Goblin gang.
Yeah, that's true. And the last one on this particular page is motorcycle riders are reckless.
Yeah. We're all over the shop.
So it says we may look like dark superheroes or warriors from the future, but most of us do usually follow traffic regulations.
Nah. Nah.
I think there are times where if it's safe to do so, you can kind of break that limit a bit.
We-
You can maybe do some wheelies if you're in a.
We don't know what the
Place.
hell we're doing.
No, we don't. Highway code. What's that?
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say something, but not for YouTube's ears.
Okay, you'll tell me later. So yeah. So that's,
Again, at this as well. Look, so there's this stereotype that bikers are reckless.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, people make mistakes, and yeah, there are going to be the few people that give us a bad name for the way they ride. But most riders are decent people with a lot of roadcraft.
Yeah.
And like me, I'm sure a lot of them will apply all of the exact same kind of attitudes to riding a motorcycle as they would in a car.
Mhm.
So things like, you know, being aware of your environment, being or more aware of your environment, and, you know, knowing how to anticipate things well in advance of them actually happening. These are all things that bikers need to learn fairly quickly, otherwise it ends up being pretty bad for them, bad experience.
Yeah.
So, and we apply those same skills to driving a car.
Mhm.
So you'll find that probably a lot of bikers are some of the best drivers in the country. And I mean, it does speak something. Well, it does say something about the biker community having to go through 2 sets of theory tests, 2 sets of driving tests. You know, to have 2 separate licenses for 2 different types of vehicles.
Mm.
Most people will probably only do 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from that standpoint, you could argue that going through 2 exams to get a full license for both driving a car and riding a motorcycle reinforces what you're supposed to be learning when you're learning to drive.
Mm.
So again, you could make that point. I will say that because I did my motorcycle license before my driving license, that it helped me a lot when it came to do my driving license, because I was already
Road aware.
road aware, and yeah, because I'd done it all before, it was a fairly straightforward process. The difficulty was actually in learning how to drive the car, but once you got that down, all the same attitudes you have to roadcraft, well, yeah, they're all the same.
See, my dad asked that I do my car test before my motorcycle test, which I've done, because he wanted me to be road aware. He wanted me to have that awareness of other people on the road and what they do. So yeah, that's that. So I've got another page, unless you want to break the comments.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, we'll see what we got. Mark, a few years ago, around 40 of us dressed as Santa, snowmen, elves, and we rode our bikes through a Christmas parade for a charity. Some crazy looks driving along the moto to the parade.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds wicked.
That does sound really cool.
Fair play. That sounds really cool.
The kids loved it. I'm sure they did.
Again,
Yeah.
that helps the biker image, doesn't it?
It
I
does,
think,
yeah.
without a doubt. Greg, don't judge a book by its cover, I'd say. Isn't that the truth for
Always the truth,
for
isn't
everyone
it?
and everything from all walks of life?
Yes.
125 guy, there are the ones that stand out and give all bikers a bad name.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's one of those things where no matter how much good you do as a biker community,
Only takes
there's
one
gonna
person.
be one person, one incident, and it's all tarnished.
Yeah.
And you then have to work that extra bit harder to gain that bit back.
Yeah, and some people are going to have these stereotypes in their head of bikers, and they'll never let go of them, ever, never ever let go of them. So yeah, not judging a book by its cover is certainly
words, aren't they?
certainly an attitude that everyone should have. When, you know, instead of being judgmental, instead of looking at someone and going, "Oh, you're a knobhead" or something,
Yeah.
you know, maybe take a second to think about, or just to think that they're another human being, and they might be an absolute saint.
Yeah.
You never know, do you? But yeah, it only ever takes one to ruin it for everyone. 125 guy, got told that I look like a Power Ranger when I got a set of leathers. Yeah, I get told that as well, because I have my red leathers.
With your red helmet.
Now with the red helmet as well. So yeah, I get told that as well.
Thing is, Power Rangers are like superheroes, aren't they?
Yeah. That's.
So.
But do people say that to belittle riders? To make them feel like children because they're wearing leathers that are a bold colour, shall we say?
I don't know. I think people just like to put people down for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can tell the difference if it's meant as a joke, not like anything meant by it. But at the same time, you can imagine people just saying things like that just because they have to make you feel bad about something.
They have to comment.
They have to comment.
They cannot just shh. Oh, I could go on all day about that, so I'm not going to. Anyway, moving on.
Lomorph UK, good to see you, mate. How you doing? Long-haired, dirty, greasy biker. In reality, I am simply an ex-military rocker guy that likes motorcycles.
That's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. Mark, my type would be middle-aged, overweight, construction project manager, foster carer, but love the freedom of the bike.
That's
Again,
awesome,
someone else that's completely different walk of life who just enjoys riding. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what it comes down
Exactly. to. Why does everyone have to fit into this
I don't
stupid
think,
stereotype?
Like people go, I'm gonna buy a bike. I need a leather waistcoat. I need to grow a beard. I need to not shower. I need to join a gang. There's not
Start
like
swearing lots.
Yeah, there's not a list of things you must achieve to become the biker.
No,
just get a bike and ride.
I think bikers themselves will know that. Of course they will. That you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anyone to ride a motorcycle. If you have that desire and you want to be involved in the lifestyle, you just got to take part.
Yeah.
It's literally that's it. You just have to take part.
Yeah, that's it.
All this other nonsense that people think comes with the territory, it doesn't exist. It's false. Completely false.
I have another 3, or I can actually go on to personality traits instead.
Let's do personality traits.
Okay. So these are a little bit kinder.
They'll be funny.
So motorcycle riders are adventurous.
Yes, I would agree with that. I'd say most riders are adventurous because they want to go on adventures on their bikes. They want to
open road.
Yeah, they want to travel places. They're just well, I've said this before as well. It's not about the destination on a motorcycle. It's about the journey. Always about the journey.
Yeah, it says here they rarely settle for the status quo and are generally drawn to active lifestyles that keep them on their toes. It's true for new riders in their 20s up to retirees who take their Harley out on the weekends.
I think it's just people a bit more. Is it pragmatic? Is that the word?
Sure.
Proactive. Proactive. They. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, now my dad's moved up our way. He does actually now take. I think he goes like 120-mile round trip every couple of weeks. Just takes a bike out and just goes.
Yeah. Just
by himself, and he just loves it. Mm-hmm. He just goes and he rides, and that's his That's his freedom for X amount of time.
What a lot of people forget is it is a hobby. It's not a tool. A motorcycle isn't a tool, although you can use it as a tool for transport or whatever. You getting on your way to work and things like that. But it's a hobby. We ride because it's fun, because we enjoy riding. For no other reason. Doesn't have to be anywhere. Doesn't have to mean anything. Just want to get on the bike and ride. If it's a nice day. Well, we've been quite lucky recently in the UK with the weather, haven't we?
I know. Don't say that.
I was going to say that with the UK weather anyway, you've got to be on your toes. Whether or not if you get a good day, you've got to make the most of it, kind of thing.
We're in that awkward time of year as well, where things are it's not quite summer, but it doesn't really feel like spring either at the moment. Like we're just on that weird cusp.
As long as it's dry and it's not too cold or it's not too warm, this time of year is the perfect time of year to go riding for me. Because you're not sweating in your leathers, you've got a nice cold breeze to keep you cool, and it's not raining.
Yeah,
what more could you ask for? The roads are wet, roads are dry rather, and
yeah,
you can just really enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
this time of year, I find spring is my favourite time of year.
We got 16 degrees on Saturday, so
16 degrees.
I know.
Wow,
practically heat wave. Right, so the next is that riding promotes self-sufficiency.
Self-sufficiency.
Yeah, so motorcycle riders tend to do their best to take care of the bikes themselves as much as possible. Work on their beloved machine, constantly tweaking, fixing and upgrading different components. That ceaseless, sacred process brings riders almost as much joy as riding itself. Riding a motorcycle is a privilege.
That's an interesting one because, again, I actually don't think that fits everyone. I don't think all bikers like working on their bikes. You know? I don't think they do. I think they prefer to have a professional work on their bikes.
No, we're new to it.
But you'll get the opposite end of the spectrum where you'll get people that will literally make the bikes their own. So they will do all the work on the bikes. They will modify the hell out of them just to make them kind of like to express themselves, I suppose. They will make a motorcycle in their own image, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So again, but it's the same. It's the same, you know, with car guys as well. You know, you'll get car people that are very, very enthusiastic about their cars, but they won't do any work on them necessarily. And then you've got the people that do all the work on their cars, and they're also car guys. So I don't think that fits very well with everybody.
So it's not a common personality trait then?
I don't think so. I mean, the one thing that I've found over the course of my riding career is I've always been afraid to work on my bikes. Always been afraid. I don't want to break them. And unfortunately, when you break something on a motorcycle, it's normally very expensive to get fixed again. Very expensive. So, and then if you don't trust yourself to get it right, fixing it yourself, then you're going to pay someone else to do it, and it gets even more expensive. So it's always difficult for me, or you know, even if it's just like a piece of fairing, you know, you crack a piece of fairing trying to get it off your bike because you've missed a bolt or something, you know, just something stupid like that, and it just ruins your day. And you think to yourself, oh, well, why did I bother? Why did I bother working on my own bike when I could have got a pro to do it? And yeah, fine, it would have cost me a bit more money, but they would have done it properly. You know? So I understand both those attitudes, and I'm trying to be more, what's the word? I can't think of the words. I'm trying to get my hands dirty on our bikes now. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn more about it. I'm trying to put my fears to one side and just experiment and see how it goes. I mean, that's why I titled last week's oil change video, "Can a total noob do an oil change on a ZZR 1400?"
And they can.
Because I am literally a total noob. I've never ever done, up until that point, an oil change on any bikes ever, because I was too scared to do it. Because again, you do something stupid like you don't put enough oil in the bike, and the bike breaks because the engine blows up. We haven't got enough oil in it. So, you know, it's just weird little fears like that. I mean, well, they're not weird, but they're legitimate fears. But yeah, trying to put those to one side to actually have the confidence to just go for it.
They prevent you from...
Honestly, guys, I've been watching tutorials on motorcycle maintenance for years. Years and years and years. I've been following Motorcyclist Magazine, Revzilla, Yummy Noob. I've been following all the big channels to try and figure out how it is I can do just basic stuff. And even then, I was still too afraid to actually do it. So I understood the theory of it, but it's one thing understanding the theory of it and actually
put it into practice.
Going for it. It's a big thing for me. It might just be me. I don't know. It might just be me, but I suppose I had the same experience when I started dicking around with computers as well. Oh, shut up! When I started
messing around, playing with computers.
No. When I started taking computers apart,
okay.
I remember the very first computer I took apart was an old computer that we didn't use anymore in my mum and dad's house, and I must have been about 10 years old at the time, maybe 11 years old. I took the processor out, but I didn't just take the processor out. I took the processor out and the cooler all together, and I thought it was one piece at the time. I tried putting it all back together again. It didn't work. And then ever since then, I was like afraid to work on. Well, at that point, I was afraid to work on computers until a few years later, when I was like, right, no, I'm going to try this again. And luckily, the second time, everything worked out okay. But I understood more about what it is I had to do back then.
Look
but
at you now.
It's a very similar experience with that. You know, you don't want to break stuff. I had fully intended to reuse that computer again as like my own one instead of having one family computer in the house. But there you go. That's so it goes. Sorry, wifey. Is there any more personality traits?
We've got 3 more.
3 more.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This one I wanted to give a bit of description about because it's actually quite sweet. So, a primal love for motorcycles. If you had to bet your life on something, one of the safest bets would be that any biker loves his or her bike. Riders may have other dream motorcycles or things they'd like to upgrade, but you'll never see a biker who treats his or her machine carelessly or with lack of fervour. I can't say that word. Anyway,
I know what you're saying.
No matter how old and bast it may look, every scratch on a bike is a memory, an experience, a mark of the deep bond it has built with its rider over the years. That relationship is comparable only to a cowboy and his loyal horse or a goblin and his pug.
Well, no, that totally applies to me.
Yeah.
Because when I bought the CBR, the Honda 600RR, when I bought that, I was like, right, this is a trash bike. This is a bike that I'm just gonna
throw around,
bike. You know, and like not care if it drops. Who cares? Stuff like that. And I fell in love with the damn thing.
You did?
I fell in love with it, and and that was the bike that I tried practicing wheelies on and stuff as well. But I was too scared to drop the bike after that. When I got to know it and how much I enjoyed the experience of riding it. So yeah, that certainly applies to me. I want to get another trash bike, but I'm worried that the same thing's going to happen to me.
It won't be a trash bike.
it would. Yeah, that's the point. It will never be a trash bike.
Unless it's like, I don't know, unless you get it from like a scrap heap, and even then you take ridiculously good care of it.
Well, the thing is, I do want a scrap bike just because there are projects that I have in mind that I would like to do on a trash bike. So, things like practicing wheelies, fine, whatever. But also certain experiments I want to try. Like what would happen if you take the key out of the ignition whilst you're riding.
Oh, I remember you saying, actually.
Weird things like that. Things that, a lot of people are too afraid to test because they don't want to drop their own bike. Well, if I've got a trash bike, I don't care about it, then I can do all these experiments. And so I've got a load of little ones like that I want to try and do on a trash bike at some point. But yeah, that statement for me at least is accurate.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just do one more because the very last one is that motorcycle riders are aware, and we've always spoken about how much they have potentially twice the amount of awareness. So we'll skip that one. But the last one is that roiders.
Roiders. What?
Riders is what I mean.
Oh right, I was gonna say I thought you meant like people that literally shoot up steroids at the gym.
I went. The tendency is riders are loyal, but I went roiders.
Roiders are very loyal to their steroids.
So riders are loyal is what I meant.
Loyal to what? Sorry.
That was it. They're loyal. Riders are loyal.
Oh, all right.
So it's camaraderie and they're loyal to the cause and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a community. It's a tight-knit community, for sure.
So yeah, and that was it. They're all my personality traits that I found. Well, not mine, but they're all the personality traits that I found and all the stereotypes.
Very, very good. Let's have a look and see what you guys thought. 125 guy, I'm in the stereotype of they have an L plate, so they have no idea what they're doing, when in reality I've just never got around to doing my test and I've been riding for 18 years. Yeah, that's a big one. I don't think a lot of people understand, normies. I don't think they understand that, that just because you have an L plate on a motorcycle doesn't mean that you haven't.
You're clueless. Yeah,
it doesn't mean that you're a total noob. I mean, I'm sure I get that as well. Whenever I take the wife's 125 out, I'm sure that that's what people think. Actually, no, I know that's what people think. You're right.
Yeah, you were really loud.
No, the reason why I know that is because when I posted that video about the person who didn't give way to me.
Yes.
And I had a look on comments from these, because a few of these channels that did compilation videos of idiot drivers and things like that, they approached me about posting that clip of ours onto their next compilation video. And you will get people saying, "Oh, what an idiot! He's got an L plate on. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing." I'm like, mate, I've probably been riding longer than you've been alive. Shut the hell up. That kind of attitude. So yeah, I totally get that. And I don't want L plates. They need to get rid of L plates on motorcycles. I'll tell you what, if you've got a driving license, but you have a CBT, you should not have to have L plates on a motorcycle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you have a full driving license, you don't need to have a motorcycle license. Full driving license, no L plates. That's what I think. And then that would, make things a lot clearer for everyone, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because then someone who has an L plate on, they're on a provisional license. They are.
Mm.
But what's the bets that most people, that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, that haven't got time or desire to get a full motorcycle license, have been driving for that length of time, a lot.
Yeah.
So, doesn't make any sense to me, that, but there you go. Where was I? Lone Wolf UK, the only thing I will not work on my bike is electrics. Electrics are hard. There was actually one of our neighbours, this is when, 15 years ago when I used to live with my mum and dad, there was a neighbour who enjoyed working on motorcycles and stuff, and the one thing they never did was electrics. Because electrics in principle are fairly straightforward, but they're not. in practicality, they're not. They're really difficult, especially with shorts and things like that. Trying to find shorts is next to impossible. And the easiest thing to do is, instead of actually soldering a wire together, it's just to get a new wiring loom for the whole bike. Instead of patching it up, probably the safer thing to do is just get a whole new wiring loom. That might not be possible for some older bikes, so they might not make them anymore. But electrics are tough. I've tried a little bit of electrical work on bikes in the past, and again, that hasn't gone well for me either. I'm a novice at soldering, but you don't
have to get by.
I try my hand here and there just to see how things go, really. So I like to experiment and see what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, I suppose. 125 guy, I was afraid of breaking something until I went for it, stripped it down, take the carb off. Now I realise with the help of YouTube, it's easy. It's all about confidence. Just like you say, just going for it, just trying your best and see how it goes. And I think what a lot of people forget is engines are actually quite strong things, So it's not like, you make one mistake and the whole engine blows up. A lot of the times that's not what it's like. I remember I watched a video on, I think it was Bikes and Beards, and they had this Bikes and Beards, yeah. Right. And they had like this rubbish motorcycle. It was like some 200cc or 250cc Chinese bike. And and the whole video was about how much punishment it could take, basically. And they did an oil change on the bike whilst it was running.
Oh my god!
Right, and they weren't expecting it to survive. Now, this was a Chinese motorcycle. They weren't expecting it to survive, and it did. I would never do that ever. That's like the worst thing to do ever. But somehow it still kept on running, and it was absolutely fine. God knows how much damage it actually did to the bike, but I mean, they didn't care. But what I'm saying is it breaking a motorcycle to a point where it won't run probably is more difficult than people think. It's not as easy as you think. If a bike is a bike will break down, or a car will break down because of wear and tear more than anything else. Unless you got people taking off like head gaskets or whatever, and getting the wrong torque measurements when they're putting everything back together and stuff. Yeah, that that could ruin it. But just got to go for it, I think, with a lot of these things. 125 guy, have you thought about getting a cheap bike that needs work so you can give it a go? If you mess up, you've not lost out. Yeah, I've thought about that many times. And again, though, the thing is, people will kind of warn you against buying project bikes, because if you can't fix it, then you're kind of left with a piece of junk that you can't do anything with. But at the same time, I'm curious to see if I can figure out what's wrong with it.
Yeah. I
like fixing stuff. So it's right up my alley, doing something like that. But I don't know if... I don't know. I would like to do that, but means, money, all that stuff, storage, opportunity. If I do get the opportunity to do that, then I will. Because because I did have this kind of thought as well about maybe trying to do some kind of video series about buying a bike that I know is broken, seeing if I can fix it and flogging it for more than what I bought, more than what I paid for it. That's one thing I would like to try and do if I can, kind of like, you know, the whole wheeler dealers kind of thing, but on motorcycles. But I don't have that much experience, so I don't know.
Who knows how that will pan out?
Exactly. But I think it'll be an interesting experiment anyway, just to see if I can do it.
Be a journey.
And if I fail, then, well, I fail. You know?
True.
The data's still valid. Mark, I was on Gumtree last night looking for a project bike. Not a lot out there now, unless they're asking crazy money. That's interesting. I haven't actually looked at bikes recently, so I'm not sure what the market is like at the moment.
You don't want to spend loads of money on a project bike if it does not
honestly
go anywhere.
If you're spending more than a few £100 on a project bike, then it's not worth it. Because you're going to be a few £100 in the hole, and you're going to be pouring more money into it than potentially it's worth. Exactly. So you really don't want, if there's a project bike that you know needs work, then you need to drive the price down as much as you possibly can to buy it. Otherwise, it is not worth it. Basically, what they're asking for, try and buy the bike for the price it costs you to buy, and what you anticipate the parts are going to cost you as well. So what they're asking for, so say a project bike that someone's been working on, say that they want £500 for it, you offer £200 for it, and then anticipate that the other £300 are for parts. Yeah. And then if you, with that attitude, then you haven't really lost out, because you're already anticipating spending that much money anyway. But the benefit is, if you get the bike working, you get it fixed for less than what you anticipated. Quid's in. Yeah, you're doing pretty well. But yeah. I mean, for Facebook Marketplace, you see a lot of people trying to flog their project bikes nowadays as well. I wonder if that's a better place to look. Worth a try. Facebook Marketplace, don't know. 125 guy, I'm on a provisional license. Okay, cool. That's good then. Still, it doesn't make a difference. You've been riding for, how long did you say? 18 years? 18 years, yeah. 18 years on a provisional license. Nothing wrong with that. You've probably got more experience on the road than a lot of people do. And they've got full licenses. And still can't drive properly. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Lone Wolf UK, Bikes and Beards. They are the guys that try to run a Chinese bike on honey instead of oil. That's the same video. I'm pretty sure that's the same video. Or they had a video series on how badly they could treat a bike. But yeah, they tried putting honey to run as the oil as well. That's another thing they did to that bike, that poor bike. Goodness me. Lone Wolf UK, if you want to make money on a second-hand bike and flip it for more, try getting a YZF 1000R. I saw one sold for $895. It needed tyres and plastics. When the guy brought Chinese replacement plastics and new tyres, he cleaned it up and got £2,100. Wow. Yeah. Plastics cost him £600. Yeah, the plastics cost him basically the how much it cost the bike. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, again, if you are actually going to try making some money out of it, you have to know what it is that you're buying, in the sense that, you know how much things are going to cost to fix them, and how much you can flog them for afterwards as well. If you know that you can get that bike sold for, double your money, then you know what your what's the word, the business term, break-even point is. So. Dope Star Gaming. No, there's no way I just missed this. I'm sorry, mate. Sorry about that. Glad you're here, though. Glad you made it just before the end of the show. But I mean, yeah. What do you think then? Just before we finish up, just before we sign off, about stereotypes. Do you think I fit a stereotype, a biker stereotype? No. I think you're lying. Yeah, I can smell you from here. No, joking. Yeah. I think... No, I don't feel like you do fit a stereotype. There's a lot of things that you have, so like metal, long hair, beard, but you don't do that because it's an image you want to portray because you're a biker.
it's things that you like that happen to be synonymous with riding a bike.
Yeah, my hair is only just because COVID couldn't get it cut.
Well, yeah.
So I just left it.
That's it.
I haven't bothered getting it cut
I
since.
don't know. I don't think you're a particular stereotype. I think stereotypes are nonsense, and they're made up by people who just want to put people into boxes and try and put them into, oh, you're part of that group that does that. No, I'm not. Bugger off. I do these things because I like them. I have tattoos because I like them. I listen to metal because I like it. That could mean I'm a goth. That could mean that I'm, I don't know, a cokehead. It could mean anything. Doesn't necessarily mean those things because I have those traits. And that's what irritates me. I'm on my soapbox now. But there's absolutely no need to stereotype someone. I just think it's absolutely nonsense. I think stereotypes are outdated. And I think they're unnecessary. So no, in short, you don't fit a stereotype. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad that she thinks so, but I don't know if she's just telling that because she has to, or because that's actually what she thinks.
No, it's honestly what I mean. You know.
No, I know, and that applies to everybody. Absolutely, I'm sure there are one or two people, maybe in 1,000, that probably match the stereotypes exactly. But the vast majority of people within this community are certainly not the stereotypical biker in any way, shape or form.
The biggest stereotype I've ever seen, and actually I've ever seen a following for, is that metalheads have long hair. That's probably the biggest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, but to be fair, again, you do see a lot of people that are into that kind of music with long hair.
That's it. And that's maybe that's more of a stereotype, but you know, I don't know. I just think stereotypes can be such a way to put someone down and make them feel bad about something they love doing.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Humans like doing that, don't they?
Yes.
They like boxing other humans into other boxes.
Yeah.
That's Lone Wolf UK, FYI Goblin. I have a new set of Chinese plastics for a 97 Thunder Race. Come join the dark side, mate. We have cookies. Hey, look, I am not kind of like... I would never ever call myself a fanboy. A fanboy. You know, okay, fine. We have Kawasaki bikes at the moment. But I'm not a Kawasaki guy, so to speak.
You're not ride or die, are you?
No. And the whole reason why I'm into Kawies at the moment is, I think it's just by chance more than anything else, because I've actually liked the bikes that I've bought, and you know, so I've just kind of stuck with Kawi. But no, I mean, when I've got the means and I've got the money, I'll certainly be looking at other brands. I mean, I want to have a look at KTM for sure. Ducatis I find a bit overrated personally, and a bit expensive compared to, you know, what you can get on the Japanese side of the fence. So but yeah, getting a Yamaha is one of those things I like to do. The problem is there's so many bikes.
Yeah.
There's so many bikes that I would have in my garage if I could. So many bikes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not at that stage in my life at the moment where I can do that.
Have a showroom.
Which I would love to have. I'd love to have a showroom of bikes from all brands. I mean, I can't remember when it was we were talking about it, but we were talking about Tom Cruise on the GPZ 900R that he rides in Top Gun in the original movie. After talking about that, I had a look on Auto Trader to see how many GPZ 900Rs were for sale. And I was curious because that would be another bike that I would absolutely love to own as well.
How many?
There were two.
Wow.
In the entire country. There were two. One from 1990 and one from 1993. Pretty low mileage. I think one of them had 25,000 miles. The other had 15,000 miles. But they both look pretty good. But yeah, yeah. I want to get other bikes. I have a lot of other bikes on my radar, for sure. But yeah. No, I hear you, Lone Wolf. I will certainly be looking at a Yamaha at some point. Don't even worry about that. Again, I mean, for you as well, you're looking at a Yamaha.
Yeah.
As well, you're looking at an MT-03 or an MT-06, ideally. Excuse me, MT-07 rather. That's what I would like you to get anyway, because they're better.
My bike, my choice.
Just more power. That's all.
Yeah.
They're both good bikes. Dope Style Gaming. My God, I had a huge argument with my sisters about me riding just yesterday as well. It was always going to be an uphill struggle. Oh, family. Don't you just love them?
It's funny, when my parents... So when we bought my bike, I called my dad and I said, Dad, I'm about to buy a bike. I just want to let you know. And then apparently my parents told me... So I've got 2 older brothers. One is 2 years older than me and one is 5 years older than me. And they were like... They turned around to my dad and said, well, how do you feel about this? And my dad said, I can't really say anything, can I? It's like, I can't really be a hypocrite about it. You know, she's with you, so you knew that... They knew I was going to be fine. But they were just... I think they were more worried about it than my parents were.
Maybe, yeah.
So...
Yeah. Lone with UK, rockers have long hair because it looks daft trying to headbang to rock music with no hair. I spent a long time of my life headbanging to music with short hair, like Marine Army hair.
Honestly, I don't think people would believe you looking at you now, just how hairy you are. But
I will one day shock everyone and cut all my hair off.
No, you
and
won't.
I'll put it back to how it was pre-COVID.
No, you won't.
Dope Style Gaming. I suppose I would fit into the racer / fast boy type of rider, but right now I'm still too scared to go past 50. That's probably a good attitude to have, to be honest.
I'm still not quite there though, am I?
No, you're more on the slow side as well.
Yeah.
But going fast or going slow doesn't make you a good or bad rider. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're riding within your comfort level and you get to ride again tomorrow, that's more important, isn't it? Yeah,
that's it.
You know? Dope Style Gaming, I just want to chill. Yeah, me too. I spend a lot of my time riding literally just to relax.
Enjoyment, yeah.
Relax. Yeah, I'm not going hard around corners or anything like that. It's just to feel the wind on my face and just to relax as much as I can. Lone Wolf UK, Yamaha or any of the big 4, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki or Honda, they are all the most reliable and very well put together. Yeah, and that's why they've got so many bikes that I'd want to own all of them if I could. So yeah, it's tough actually just trying to pick one or the other, unfortunately. But right, last message. Lone Wolf UK, I have long hair only because I've had to have a military cut for 17 years, was tired of hearing get a haircut. Now I don't have to. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Mark, I've had a Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki and Yamaha, but came back to Kawasaki for the ZZR 1400. However, tempted to go back to an MT-07. ZZR ain't going nowhere. No, mine isn't either.
Yeah,
it's one of those bikes. It sticks to your skin, that one. Yeah, never want to get rid of it. But at the same time, there's still other bikes you really, really want to get. Yeah.
Honestly, if we had the space, then it wouldn't bother me if you got loads of bikes. Like, wouldn't bother me.
One day, maybe. One day.
Yeah.
We'll see. 125 guy, don't ride beyond your skill and comfort. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and you should never ever be kind of influenced into riding outside your comfort zone by any of your mates or anything like that, because it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. But yeah, I mean that's another topic for another video, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you ever so much, everyone, for watching today's show. Hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you again for all of your contributions in the chat. You guys are absolutely wicked. You're amazing. So yeah, thanks again for that. And yeah, so the release tomorrow, I think, the release tomorrow is the Ninja 125 oil change and filter change. So that's another interesting one.
And there's some classic wifey tidbits in there.
There's always classic wifey tidbits. Good.
Worth watching even just for that.
You're the life of the party, so.
There's just some things I watch it back and I go, did I really say that?
Yeah, that's right. But so we'll see you tomorrow if you're there, and if not, I hope you have a good weekend. And yeah, we will catch you all next week. Have a good one, guys and gals. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
I got dog hair in my eye.